This video will contain spoilers from the world and story of Subnautica. Please beware. A long distant roar, the unsettling crackling closing in on you, and a horrifying creature bursting through the ice right in front of you, only to devour you in the most terrifying of ways. Well, that, ladies and gentlemen, is the ice worm on planet 4546b. And honestly, when I looked at the new stuff in terms of animations and what it can do 2 weeks ago, I thought that it couldn't possibly get any more scary. But here we are, and as many of you guys in the comments have pointed out, there has been another update, and trust me when I tell you that if I thought what we saw before was horrifying, it has nothing on what we will be seeing today. So just like last week, we'll be doing a bit more of a first impressions let's play commentary. I'll be going through all the new stuff that had been added in relation to the ice worm and giving you my first thoughts on it, both in terms of lore and in terms of gameplay and what it will mean for the final game. So with that out of the way, don't wear a heavy backpack because you don't want to make a lot of vibrations on this ice. Though you know what, at this point it probably wouldn't help you either way. And let's go. Alright guys, so here we are back at it again in the ice worm debug area, and as you can see, to say that it has changed a little bit would definitely be an understatement. There is now an absolutely insane amount of polls with text on them showing what kind of animation, audio, or death showcase that will be. So let's just go through some of the more interesting of them and see if we can dig up any lore, or maybe just see some really cool animations from a terrifying enemy. Okay, so here we're coming up to something new, and this is the breach tail. I wonder what we have here. Let's see. Oh boy. Okay, now how that works, I have no idea. I mean, the ice worm must just be so freakishly strong that it can just bust through the ice purely using its tail. Like, it's even kind of ruining my theory on how its nose is the thing helping it go through the ice. It seems like it doesn't need it. Alright, quick change of weather, and here we are with breach mid. Okay, let's see what this is. Okay, that's just the middle of its body breaching the ice. So really guys, this creature must be so strong that, especially if the ice layer is thin enough, it can straight up just bust through using, well, nothing but its armor plating, which is quite insane. I mean, you would think there aren't many places around here where the ice sheet isn't particularly thick. Oh my god. Now that was definitely one way to kill the player in a very epic fashion, but what I think this also shows is it further supports the theory that this thing is just able to track you even while it is in the water or just in the ice underneath you, whether that is through vibrations or purely through some magical organ that it has on its body. Because, I mean, to be able to come up, stab you with that kind of precision, and then toss you into the air and devour you, again, opening its mouth very similar to the Chelicerate. Okay, and next on our list is the attack spear. I'm guessing it's going to involve its superheated spike on the nose. Yep. Wow. Now, while looking at it this close, I do wonder if the fork on its tail has some purpose. Maybe it has something to do with how it burrows through the ice. Maybe that's how it's able to do the tail breach. I'm not sure, but let's check out Kill Jaws. It's gonna be another kill, I presume. Oh, yeah, that's a very fast one in the water. What's interesting about that is that we get to see really well into its mouth, and it doesn't actually have many large teeth on its own. So presumably the main battle tactic when hunting any kind of prey for the ice worm is that it will kill it first with the spike and only then proceed to devour it, somewhat similar to like a snake that would first suffocate its victim and only then swallow it whole. It doesn't seem like the ice worm necessarily has the means to like bite prey apart. And now at the very edge of the whole area, kill, play with food. even as a concept, that just does not sound like fun for the player. Oh my god. And I'm not just talking about being sucked into 5th dimension there. So just to recap, once again, further supporting the theory that this thing can somehow sense you from underneath the ice, it is able to create a circle around you, basically melting all the ice around the edges, up until you simply fall through so that it can devour you in the water or ice or whatever is located below. Now it makes you wonder, since it is capable of an attack like this, what would be the main prey for an ice worm? I mean, we've seen many attacks that have it breach from walls or come up from below, so you would think that it mostly consumes land animals. So perhaps somewhere back in the day, the frozen leviathan species that we can find could have been prey or predator to the current ice worm. Thumbs up. Okay, swiping in its superheated horn. So it really seems like it uses the opening of its mouth as more of an intimidation tactic than necessarily hurting you. Oh god. Oh, and it tracks you. Wow. Now that almost seems like something that should instantly kill the player. I mean, how are we going to survive even a single hit from this thing? Oh my god. Talk about being able to leap. Look at the height that this creature is able to get coming out of ice. There can't be a lot of ways it can build momentum. Now I'm starting to think that it probably uses those tiny feet that are all along its body to propel itself, and that they together are way stronger than we thought they would be. I mean, there is a lot of them, but they're super small, so you'd assume they can't do much. Okay, see, what's interesting about this one is that it's aimed fairly high. Once again, supporting the theory that this thing is used to hunting large land animals. Oh boy. That was definitely unexpected, though. Now, that is essentially all of the most interesting stuff we can look at in the debug area, and guys, I strongly recommend you go here yourself and maybe come up with your own theories. But before we end off, I do still want to check out the upgraded arena for the ice worm, because it could... Okay. Because it could tell us a bit more about what kind of places it inhabits, even if it is still under construction. So this is presumably one of the large open areas where you will be able to fight it, and by fight it, I think probably they meant fight for your life while running away as fast as you can. But let's see what we can find here. Oh, and then you hear the rumble at first. Clearly that's the rumble of ice cracking, so it's burrowing through it. Oh, and there it is. Just underneath the ice, you can see the immense heat from the nose spike, and my complaint from last time has been fixed. Look at the amount of water vapor. So it is clearly using that to melt a lot of the ice, even though it's still cracking. There also seems to be a small underground section, which I just quickly want to look into. If I'm not mistaken, what we're looking at here is one of the tunnels burrowed through by the ice worm. Now, this is not exactly what I would expect. I mean, it is insanely symmetrical, which would make sense if it is melting the ice, but then again, we see it cracking a lot as well. When the ice worm is, well, underground, perhaps its body armor conforms to the shape of a circle much more. That's why we would be able to get these very circular tunnels that are relatively smooth, despite how spiky the body of the ice worm is. So to recap, not only is it way more agile than we thought, being able to leap incredible distances, we now also have the confirmation that yes, despite it using its superheated spike to melt some of the ice, its body is powerful enough to just straight up bust through, especially, I'm guessing, if the ice sheet is a little bit thinner in a specific area. On top of all that, we also have a pretty good confirmation that the ice worm is able to sense your movements even though presumably you are fairly lightweight and shouldn't be creating that much vibration on the ice anyways. Despite its thickness, it is able to sense you, and because of its very precise movements and the way it kills you on land, we can make the assumption that its main prey would not be aquatic animals, but in fact those that already inhabit the surface. And so that is the ice worm in its current form. Now I think it's absolutely fascinating how much effort there is being put into this one creature, which at this point, in terms of content, might be the most developed creature that any of the Subnautica games have had in them. Well, maybe save for the Sea Emperor, but even then, just the pure amount of animation, audio work, and potential lore that could fit into this creature makes me think that it is possible that it might hold some bigger role in the overarching story of Subnautica Below Zero once it finally comes out. But until that time, I hope you guys enjoyed the video and have at least something new to think about until the eventual release of Subnautica Below Zero. If you liked the video, maybe consider leaving a like, commenting, or subscribing. All of those would be very much appreciated. And if there's anything that I missed, or a theory of your own that you would like to cover, make sure to leave that down in the comments as well. I would very much like to read it. Now with that, I want to wish you all a beautiful rest of today, and I'll see you in whatever next video I make. Bye bye.